would you say you saw a long future with this girl, or would you say you were testing it out to see if that was what could come from?
Oh no, should be different.
Yeah, you Gucci. Yes, sir. I got my boy Trey in the building,
Yes, sir.
and
What's good,
he's
Noah?
what's good, bro? Good to have you. Good to have you.
Yes,
One of the
sir.
cams for once. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. We good. Everything running clean.
All right. So what we talking about today, bro? So, let's
All right.
let's give the people what they want to hear about this video.
All right. Yeah. For this video, we're gonna do something a little different for your channel. You gonna be the one getting interviewed, and we're gonna be asking you the tough, hard, hard hitting questions.
All right.
And the topic we're gonna stick around is relationships,
Okay.
um, past relationships,
Right.
and your views and your experiences and how they molded you. And yeah,
All right.
so we're gonna go through a bunch of questions, some
Got
good,
you.
some bad,
Got you. Got you. I'm ready
and
for them.
just answer them the best you can, or just tell me that you don't want to answer it.
All right.
No pressure.
No pressure.
All right, shit. Let's get into this little list I got. All right, with your last relationship, we're gonna start with your last relationship,
Got
the
you.
one you
All
are
right.
fresh out of, because you have the cleanest memory on that because that is fresh
Right.
on the palate, right?
Right.
So, how did y'all first meet? Let's talk about that.
All right. So we first met at her job. I got her number through a weird exchange. I was trying to get her coworkers to get hooked up with my roommate at the time. And, I doubled back to get her number um, just to really coax her into my plan of, hey, get your friends to get with my friend. She called me a weirdo the same day, and we just ended up texting and we hit it off at that once I found out that she thought I was cute and she was into older guys.
Okay. So you said she was into older guys and she was pretty open with the attraction she had towards you.
Correct.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Um, Based on that, what would you say were the strongest first impression that you can remember that you had of her?
Out of her,
Yeah, of her. Yeah.
let's see. She had a very nurturing and caring spirit to the point where she made it clear that she loved me more than I loved her throughout the entire relationship from beginning to end. And it was something I was trying to avoid because, I'm not really open to strong, nurturing love. I never had a nurturing mother. So it was something that was taboo to me to just really be in love in a relationship.
Okay. So she was a strong lover is basically the gist of that, and then you knowing you keeping it real with yourself, you know that any girl that's bringing you a good amount of love, it's gonna bring you in and make you feel
Of
wanted
course.
and things that you want to feel.
To keep it 1,000, 1K, um, I remember going into it as, oh, we're just gonna be friends with benefits, and I remember going into it thinking, this is gonna be friends with benefits. Let her know that, hey, this is something convenient. And it wasn't until after she talked with me and said how she felt some type of way about being friends with benefits, it just started to like rewire my thinking. Like maybe I should try something with this girl. And when she started opening up, you know, that's when things start to go for better and for worse. if I could say.
Okay. Okay. Um, how quickly? So you said that she was the one that brought up the friends with benefits aspect of
No,
everything.
I brought up being friends with benefits, and then uh, she obligated not to do that. And within 2, 3 days of that statement being brought up, I chose to choose a relationship with her. But
Take
I'll
it.
get deep into that later.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I don't know. Let me ask you this. So in the beginning,
Right?
around the time you're saying these conversations were had with this girl, would you say you saw a long future with this girl, or would you say you were testing it out to see if that was what could come from this?
She had the capabilities of a woman that was nurturing and loving, which is the type of woman I sought after as a wife. But as more conversations were had and I got to know her more, which I failed to do in the beginning just because, I was rushing things and just wanted to get my feet wet, that I knew it was going to be short term, unfortunately.
Okay, so knowing that, um, what would you say is the best way to go about relationships that are like that, where you kind of know that this isn't for sure going to be the girl that I lock it down with?
I think you just need to have effective communication. Stand on your word, mean it. That's something that I failed to do just because I was thinking down there instead of up here. So, just have that talk, let her know that, hey, this is what I'm here for, this is what we're doing, and this is what it's going to be. And you just stay 10 toes on that.
Yeah, transparency. Yeah, you're
Correct.
right. Um, how much of a impact was her close family and close friends on, or how impactful was her close family and close friends on the way she went about being with you, being in a relationship?
So, um, her friends and uh, her friends were very supportive of her friendship. She didn't have too many friends, but the friends that she did share with, she chose to dive into, hey, this is my man, this is my man, this is my man. And her family opposed straight off the bat, due to my background, due to my race. So it was two opposing forces, and she had to really come to a quick decision of, are we going to try to fight to make this last, or is it just going to go downhill because of what my family's saying?
And I feel like that goes unspoken a lot of how the family can alter either side of the relationship and be make or break kind of points. And like you said about the race thing, they looked into your background, all these things. And yeah, of course they want the best for their family member, their
Of
daughter, their
course.
sister, but a lot of people are judgmental, and they kind of are too quick to judge someone and not give someone a chance. What do you feel like, as black brothers in their early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, even early 30s, should be looking out for, watching out for when they're choosing or finding women to date?
Well, I'm currently in the headspace of looking for a wife and someone with uh, God, you know, God like values about themselves. But to those that aren't really looking for a spiritual aspect and just want to have fun and just want somebody to settle down with for short term and long term, I just say find somebody that's likes the things that you like. Somebody that has common interests in you. You guys have the same humor. You guys like the same type of foods. What can you really relate to, despite your backgrounds, despite your age, despite the differences about you? What do you guys have in common? And then expound on that. And I think that's what you could really look for as far as dating in your 20s.
Okay,
Because the
cool, cool.
similarities really make or break a relationship.
Facts. And like you said, a lot of the times it lies on the man to understand or decide what is he actually looking for. Out here looking for a wife, or are you out here looking for fun, pleasure, or just to date? Like sometimes that's cool too, just to have healthy relationships, knowing that it might not last or knowing that it won't last.
Right. Now, I'm going to just say this as well while I'm on camera. She was an excellent girlfriend. I will say that. She was one of the first girlfriends that I can really say I was happy to have, but there were some red flags, I will say, as they come with each person that you get to meet that shape your character. And it pushed me so heavy into this position of I'm not dating no more. I'm actually going to wait till I get a wife, because it it exposed me to how delicate meeting and uniting with somebody is, as far as love, sex, relationship, endearment, and all those nice qualities come into play when you're bonding with somebody. So once I saw the traits that I didn't like about her, and I stopped making excuses for myself towards the end of the relationship, I saw that maybe dating isn't for me, but for somebody else that wants to go into that lane, I say just find somebody that you can deal with for a short period of time. And you got to learn to love yourself, because if you can't love yourself and stick with yourself and be by yourself for a while, you can't deal with other people. So, yeah.
Okay. Um, were y'all living together?
No, we were not.
You and your last girlfriend? Okay. Um, you talked about now you're looking for a wife, and one of the main things is that she needs to be a God fearing woman and like have that aspect to her. Would you say that your last girl had that aspect to her, or was she missing those?
She was definitely missing those qualities, which is nothing to her that, she didn't have God in her life, or she wasn't God fearing, but not in the ways that I would cherish her as a wife. More so as a companion or a short term partner, but not as the wife that I need in my life, or the wife that's going to be with me till the wheels fall off.
And keep God in your life, fuck nigga. Do it.
Well said. Definitely well said. Would you say that that last relationship helped you figure out what you are actually looking for?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say before that relationship you were not so sure, and that's why you kind of got into that relationship?
Uh, yes and no. I stayed with that. I stayed in that past relationship out of convenience, out of uh, you know, losing what type of love I could have.
God
So
is so good.
once
Mmm,
I
mmm, so good.
learned what I wanted in those type of qualities in a woman, and I started to find those in the people that I was interested in, then I knew that, hey, this relationship taught me some things, but it's not what I'm looking for. So I would say yes, that relationship did help me look for the qualities of the woman that I want as a God fearing woman.
So would you say that dating different women, especially in your early 20s, helped you figure out which, or not which, but what type of wife you want to acquire, you want to get?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Um. All right. How long were you with your ex girlfriend for?
3 months.
3 months. Mm. What was the longest relationship you were in?
About a year.
About a year. Um. So, bro, when when you're thinking about the girl you want to marry and you're out here looking for your wife, how important is what her race is to you?
Very important. You're not just marrying a skin color, you're marrying into her family, her background, and into her culture. The type of people she's around, the type of uh, ways she likes to eat, dance, her religion, her belief system. So I feel like all those are important. I'm pro black, of course, I'm for black love. But when it came to my last relationship, being with a Hispanic, if I was to marry her, I would have to accept everything that came with, being around her family and being in her culture. So I feel like, you know, when you're with somebody, you have to accept those type of things. Kind of takes you back to how, there was that TikTok trend, excuse me, of um, we're an interracial couple. So of course so it's like one of those type of situations.
Okay. Also along those lines, how are you looking for her to carry herself? Are you looking for her to be more of a working independent woman or a woman that knows that she kind of wants to rely on the family structure of the man that she is with is the provider and the sole like caretaker of the house financially, and then she takes care of the kitchen, the kids, the cleaning, the laundry, etc. Um,
So you're saying which is more important to me?
yeah, basically.
I would say I adapt more to a woman that's more hyper independent and is able to work and rely on herself. Just as long as we have an established communication to, check in with each other and make sure, hey, um, bills paid, clothes washed, kids fed, go work, go do your business. You know what I'm saying? Go plan that trip. I'm all for it. As far as being the breadwinner of the house and having the emotional burden of the family, not just the physical, but the emotional burden. Think of having a wife that is constantly supporting for you and looking for you as a source of strength because you are the sole provider of the family. You're not only just making sure that you bring the checks to come in the home, but you're making sure that the kids are taken care of. Their dental and health is taken care of. The house is always taken care of, and there's no, you know, need for extra money because we're going to get evicted next month. Everything's solely dependent on the man and the man only. So if I were to say I had to pick one of the two, I'd say the first one, which would be the hyper independent. The one that could be self reliant, because that would take us much farther, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Um, for a closing question, I'm gonna ask you, what's your best piece of advice for men and women? Um, so what's your best piece of advice for men and women when they are when they do feel like they're ready to find their long-term partner. Now, saying that, obviously not everyone is out here looking for that, but for the people that are telling themselves, okay, I'm looking for someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with, what would you say, or what is the best piece of advice you would give them?
So is that long-term relationship looking to settle down in marriage,
Yeah.
or is it just, a partnership? Because I know a lot of people that have grandpas and grandmas and dads and moms, they never got married, but they're still together 20, 30 years later.
Yeah, no, we're calling that marriage too. Like
All
we're
right.
calling a long-term partner and
Um,
government marriage the same thing, because nowadays a lot of people, like the way the world's looking, a lot of people can't afford certain things, and it's just financially a burden for them to spend money on ceremony, getting all the paperwork done. So yeah, it's more or less marriage, like you know what I mean, like a long-term marriage, but
of course.
with or without the paperwork.
Got it. This is gonna sound cliche for those that have a religious background just like me, but I spoke to my grandma about this earlier today, this morning, and she just told me, baby, you just got to pray. You got to see if you're equally yoked to this person. Are you guys compatible? Are you guys really meant for each other? You guys are, it's just more beyond the surface level of just being in love and in the moment. Where are you guys headed? And are you guys going to withstand the struggles and the storms and the rain clouds of being together? Can you guys handle the foreseen events that come in a relationship? You guys have to really test each other and pray, maybe by yourself or with that partner, hopefully, and see if they're really compatible for you.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot because mine, with my equipped knowledge, I think that marriage is one of the inventions of God and why He created. You know, what I mean, like male and female, Adam and Eve. You know, it's all for the full circle of how to reproduce properly and how to have a strong community is through families that are together and communities that are together and a nation that is together, type of ordeal.
Yeah.
So
Bro, like, and let me say this, you know, everybody knows the story about Adam and Eve and how the Eve came from Adam's rib, right? But you got to understand, Adam put work into getting that woman for 6 days. So
keep
it's
going
just
on that.
like,
You need to look at this camera
oh,
for
my
that one
bad,
because
my
that was like
bad.
a strong ass point.
5, 6 days. He was working. He was naming animals. He was naming plants, fruits, the dolphins, the sharks in the water. He was resting, looking at the sun and the clouds in the heavens and talking to God every day. They were best friends until God said man can't be lonely and gave him a companion. But when Adam got in trouble and ate that fruit, did Adam go looking for Adam and Eve? No, he said, Adam, why did you do this? He spoke to the man first. So I think we have a due diligence not to be simps, not to be betas, but to be alphas, to be Adams to our Eves. So yeah, we just gotta duty as due diligence and a duty as men to lead at for our woman. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Want to end it on that?
Yes, sir.
I bet that was a good one for sure. Many more to come. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give you a little interview, bro. And yeah, this is my first interview ever, so it was cool to get to like feel it out and
Felt
feel
good
how
being
you
behind the
feel.
camera,
Yeah.
huh?
So I think you should definitely keep up these segments. Put in people that you're close to behind the camera to interview you about things they're interested to know about you, and keep growing the channel.
Yes, sir.
Sir, 100. I want.
Yes, sir.